Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. This is the flip through of the two remaining blush journals. Again, I have my camera set up high so that we can see the whole thing in one shot, hopefully. This, okay, let me back up here. There is a flip through video that has already been uploaded that shows the first two journals. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I would have had to poke myself in the eye with a sharp stick if someone had said, make 4 identical journals. That would never, never, never happen. So each of these journals are equally luscious, equally labors of love, but they're also very distinctly different. In the first flip through video, I showed a fabric bag that I made for one of the journals. I don't know if it was this one or if it was the other tall one I showed, but I did make the promise that I would make a fabric bag of some kind of fabric, some sort of trim, blah, 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 to enclose each journal in. So I haven't gotten the last 3 done, but I also promised in that video that I would have a spine dangle on each of the journals. So that's why I'm back now, because those last 2 dangles have been done. So that's quite a preamble just to get to this point. This journal is soft. It is tall. It is 11.5 inches tall, and I would say 6 inches wide. It is one signature. I haven't counted the pages, but I will by the time the video, as I do the listing. Now, again, because I have been working on these journals months, literally months, and because long ago you had requested that you see the progress on them, I can't remember what I've shown you, what I've done on camera with you, what I have shown you in updates, and so on. So obviously you can go back and look at those videos if you choose, or you can suffer through some repetition if you've seen or heard this before. So this, as I've said, is a soft cover journal. This is scrapbooking paper. I used, now I'm thinking Kim must have sent me this trim. And basically what I've done is, in order to hold it in place, it's been glued here, and then I did this little mini collage, which I think is so beautiful. And again, if I do say so myself, I think it's very beautiful. It's just, I love the way it came together. I love the focal point. I love the varieties in pattern. And it's a way to help secure the trim closure. So just back to the front now. Because it very conveniently has these holes, I use this pearlized button with this copper edging on it as a sort of a buttonhole. No, as a button and a buttonhole. Now, as the journal gets bigger, just like on our waist, on our belts, you could just go to another notch or another hole in the belt. So likewise here. So this has been glued down, and the option is to grow. Now I've attached this little dangly bit of stuff. So this is a giant bead and other little odds and ends here, just with a ball pin. So that can be moved or removed or whatever you want. Now, because this trim is secured here and here, it also became a place to tuck a journaling card. This is fairly dimensional, this butterfly. And of course, the button adds a bit of depth there too. You'll see that underneath the card, there was this fabric that is, I would say, vintage and that I love. Some lace, a solid piece of, I think I included that paper there because it helps show off the doiling. And of course, this is a section of crochet doiling. So again, you know, as always, this is my interpretation of how this could look or should look according to my taste, but the owner, the new owner, can obviously do anything they want. Now this spine dangle is hanging from a bulb pin. And let me just say, because you know, if I learn something the hard way, my mission is to pass it along so you don't have to learn things the hard way. On these last two journals where I've just made the spine dangles, I hadn't planned for or hadn't thought of including an eyelet when it would have been much easier to put an eyelet in from which to hang the spine dangle, the bulb pin, and all of these other very attractive goodies now. Now, so needless to say, because it was such a tight squeeze, I couldn't use my, what's it called? Big Bite. And it made my job harder. So please try to think ahead, try to remember some of these or make these decisions earlier on in the process so that you can make your life easier. Anyway, I'll just show you a little bit of what I've included here. This is actually 3 layers of stuff that I had sewn together. And I thought, okay, why am I saving this included? So I have that. I have some of this lace that is obviously a great color, and some picot satin ribbon. Now this very curly stuff came from a piece of jewelry that I took apart, and it reminds me of ringlets, although I've never had ringlets. But I defy you to not play with this and pull at it. Now, obviously, if it gets stretched out, which it will, it can be trimmed and bits and pieces used elsewhere. I have this pearl strand here, and this, which has some goodies attached to it, as well as these couple of beaded items. So that is the spine dangle on this one. Okay, let me recheck the positioning. I think that's all good. And let's see what's inside. Scrapbooking paper on the inside, scrapbooking full-length pocket. So I've included digital here, some book page that I had gessoed and stamped and added journaling, put a backing on it so you could journal on it. And this, of course, is my usual message to the new owner about some possible uses and what my intention and what I put into it. Okay, so here we have a piece of a vintage linen. I think this might have been a tablecloth or something. I've attached this altered paper clip and a tiny little charm at the bottom there. Now, cloth by itself is obviously pretty limp, so that's why I always try to reinforce it. So on this side, I have some lace and I have this beautiful ribbon whose colors are just magnifico. And that the intention there is to help stabilize the fabric. And so this is one of those, I don't know what it's actually called, but it's one of those mailing kind of things. So you can address this side, put a stamp on, put a seal on it, and people get a decorative thing. I think that is somewhat vintage. I don't know that anybody still makes those things, to be honest. And then just some other paper to use. You've seen this paper before. I love it. I love how this lace trim matches. I think I might have neglected to say that in this journal and in previous one, I did a lot of zigzagging. This is a napkin that I used to create the pocket. Here's this card again that is just, I love it, both because of the intricacy of the design and that background color. Another napkin sort of journaling card. And just, we all know that we either are sassy or we want to be sassy. So there is the proof, the token. You can say, look, I'm sassy. On this, oh, I forgot to put something in here. On this page, I've used this, oh, I was going to say I've used this doily, but no, this is a digital of a dyed doily. Some pages to, some music page at the bottom, obviously, some other little digital pieces to write on. So it's essentially a top and bottom loading pocket. It's secured in the middle here. Now I added this little pocket using like a coin envelope type scenario, but okay, I have to remember. Don't know that I have anything right in reach, so I'll just have to remind myself. Let's put this in as a bookmark. To remind myself I have to come back to this page and add something. This is the other side of it, obviously, and more papers stuck in top and bottom. That could be either, I guess, ripped off or glued down and make it another little place to tuck things. Digital. This is, okay, what is this? Oh, it's just an opportunity, another, digital type piece of paper that a person could use to write on. And it's just, oh, and I put a sticker on there, and it is just a bit of decoration on this envelope. Now, here's a bit of a snippet, and of course, a person could decorate this however they choose. This is obviously page edging. It's on some avocado dyed paper, which of course the color is just perfect for this. It is not a tuck spot. This, her intuition was her favorite superpower. So I've used that as a tuck spot down here. This is just a little journaling card. Have sewn on, did I sew? No, I glued on this lace on this beautiful scrapbooking paper. This was obviously tall enough that I could turn this part into a pocket and include this digital of a seed packet, a vintage seed packet. I hope I've uploaded that as a digital. There are several variations of that. This is that same old gift wrap that I love. Again, I've tried to stabilize it by adding a cluster here at the bottom. This is staining from the old tape that obviously held the gift closed. Gutsiest women, how apropos is that for most of us? A die cut here, just some collage type elements. On this side, I've got a lace pocket and some couple of papers to journal on. There was a tab at the top. Here we have a piece of that box that held the scented drawer liner paper, and the colors of course were perfect. So I just because I like this scrapbooking paper, I didn't want to cover the whole thing up, but I've added a sticker at the bottom, always follow your own path, and did this mini collage, or not collage, but like a snippet, I guess, well, a collage too, on this piece of cardboard. And in it, I've also got this little teeny tiny journal with some sort of matching paper. Oh my goodness, looks like I had some trouble here finding the center. I better cover that up. Let's do that right now. You know, I have a variety of staples, or staplers, I mean, and the spot, you know what, I carried my glue gun, my glue stick away. I'm just adding a bit of our glitter glue here to make this hold better. Anyway, on every stapler, the positioning as to where you have to put the actual item you're stapling differs from place to place. So needless to say, I was encountering some difficulty, but no one will ever know. Okay, let's keep going. And this is a bit of seam binding, bias tape to close that. Okay, here is a little tuck spot. I should put something there as well. It looks like maybe I forgot to finish putting goodies in this one. So clearly many of these pockets and side tucks and so on will have additional items added. And it'll be a surprise, a surprise, a surprise. This is a digital, and I love it. This was a freebie from Antonio Makes. Love those people. And luckily they were wearing clothing that sort of matched. There was something else in here. Did I lose that along the way, or did I put it someplace else? Anyway, this is a paint chip card from some sort of vintage, because these are all kind of smudgy marks here, from some sort of a book on color. And I love this lace. I made a pocket out of it there. Now again, as in all the other journals, I've used a page out of that book that had just the little teeny tiny bits of blushy pink highlights. And anyway, that's that. Here's a fabric flip. Again, this was held together with some hand stitching at the top. Just used a couple of trims along the edge here. Oh, I don't know that I ever did a video on this. This is a little tiny booklet that has been made a part of this, so it's not removable. Now, maybe you can tell me in the comments, did I tell you how to do this, and did I give credit to the person whose idea it was, which of course I cannot remember at this moment, but yeah, let me know if you know. Scrapbooking paper, a pocket. Here are some papers that I've sort of done a little fancier work on the corners, and again, that is to journal on. This is just an altered paper clip with a shank button. Now here I even forgot I did this. My goodness, it's been a while. So this is 100-year-old scrapbook paper out of an old-fashioned scrapbook. So I've just tucked that in there. This is an old photo, obviously, so it looks like she's in a frame. There's some music paper tucked in there. Dictionary page here. So a person could actually use these like windows to have different things exposed, and of course the colors of the squares or the windows all work together. This was an image that I've been hanging on forever. I cut it out of a vintage magazine. I think it was selling makeup, if I'm not mistaken. I had to, of course, bring it down in size in order to make it work here. I've added this rather thick element. It's almost like a bead or something on her bracelet. And there's journaling space here. This is one of those lace masterboard elements that I turned into a pocket. Journaling card there. And I've done this collage with this fussy cut and sentiment and so on the top. Here's a bit of page trim. Now I can't remember if that's washi tape, and I just did added some more, these might have been stickers. Here is another piece of my very first snippet roll. So it includes a variety of fabrics, some beads that I have sewn on, and then of course I have this lovely girl that I backed to give her some stability, and she could be a tuck spot if you choose to. Yeah, this side is all glued down, so a tuck spot on this side should you want to insert something there. I've left it blank because I think she can very easily hold the page all by herself. And there's no shortage of other places to tuck things. This is just a journaling, I shouldn't say just, it's a beautiful journaling card. Again, a little collage kind of wraps around the other side, tucked into the pocket of that gift wrap. Now here I've used another one of those paper doll type dresses. This is fabric covered. This dress had lace around the neck and lace at the hem. I've added a ribbon rose as an accent at the waist of the dress, and it becomes a tuck. Now, it's not particularly deep because of the shape of the dress. However, something can be tucked in there. Here I've used, no, I'm not sure what this stuff is, but I liked it because, of course, it matched. So it might be a type of interfacing even. I don't know, can you see? It looks sort of like interfacing. And it's got, I don't know if those dots were intended as, 1-inch demarcations or what is going on there. But anyway, I used it to create a pocket, well, actually a double pocket. So that is in the back. And this tiny little envelope, but slash, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I know. I keep confusing myself with this. This little point here, I did a video on this, probably 2 or 3 years ago. This doesn't go anywhere. It's this little bit that holds this thing closed. Anyway, I love this. It's like marbleized paper. So I tucked that in there. This is a sample card from one of my favorite perfumes. And so that's in there, and some paper to write on. The other side of that lace trimmed scrapbooking paper. You've seen this fabric before, and you can see that obviously at one point I was trying to make a snippet or something, and how very crooked the fabric had been cut in the past. So I just thought, okay, let me use it here to decorate the edge of the page. Avocado dyed paper. This is kind of a quirky little tuck spot. And this is just somebody's business card. Portland, Oregon. Kind of seemed to match, so I've tucked that in there. This is somebody's digital, I can't remember whose. I've added a journaling card inside. Of course, there are lots of opportunities to keep on decorating. You know, add tabs, add whatever, decoupage on top of that. This is the other side of the digital, and you can see I did some fancy punching along the edge and added some washi tape on the back. This is something that I fussy cut out of a book, and I love it because it's big and it makes an impact, and the colors are perfect. There is a little tuck spot at the top of the page. Yes, clearly I have to come back and add some elements here, but let's just pretend. Sorry, I'm just trying to reach for something. So that could be tucked in there. Maybe we'll even leave that piece there. This is just a paper snippet, a different shape and orientation, and looks like I sewed them together and then glued them to the page. Here are more of those Antonio Makes people, and you can see that a lot of their outfits fit right in color-wise. So these are pockets made out of ribbon. This is another one of those little padded tabs where there's some stitching holding it all together, and this little beaded dangle. Up here we have a tag and a digital coin envelope, and I guess we can look at this from this side. And this is another little dangle here that is just pinned on the lace trim. This is the back side of that fabric. Here is some embossed paper, or no, an envelope. So obviously ready to use however you wish to. This is another deep pocket here using the scrapbooking paper that you saw in front. This is a card. And of course, you can guess why this is here. Part of the color story. And then looks like I have included a cup, because these pockets are nice and big, I've included a couple more of the pages out of that book that had the blush accents to them. So you can use those however you wish. So on this one, it looks like I do have to go back and add a few more elements. So, you know, you think you're done, you think you're ready for the flip through, and then you're totally surprised. Okay, let's see this one. Now, this cover, this is the biggest, fattest one. It's got 5 signatures, and you can see, this is what I don't know why I feel compelled to always tell you the truth. I think maybe smarter, more shrewd YouTube creators would probably keep some stuff to themselves. I had to offset. This thing is not centered because obviously I couldn't get in there. So I had to pick a spot between a couple of, anyway, 5 signatures. By the way, maybe in the comments, just tell me, do you appreciate the fact that I tell you everything? That I tell you everything? Or would you rather not know about some of these things? This book cover is just, well, it's old. It's ancient. I made it so long ago. I believe that I used packaging, and obviously wasn't clever enough or on the ball enough, or who knows. I left the box the very thickness it was. So if it was a thick box, well, that's what we're using here. Hence the 5 signatures and the nearly 3-inch spine. So covered with a book page collage. Then I think there was a video where I showed that I updated and improved the cover. Initially, I just had this full page full page sticker out of that anthology book of mine, and it was a pretty flat thing. Now this girl is what word can I use that would not be offensive and that you would take the way I intended it? This is a Bodacious journal, and she needed something way more impressive, way more dimensional. So just to point out, a sticker, a fairy sticker, different laces and paper and lace and paper and pearls, and a shabby, that's a sheer thread. That must be the invisible thread they used to make that. Anyway, you can see this obviously adds, here's applique. I think I might have talked about this before. Vintage fabric there. So that's what the front looks like. Now I really, and of course I use this panel of lace to cover my sewn-in signatures. Now, I'm not going to put this face down because clearly I don't want to smash that stuff. However, you'll see that on the back, I needed to bring a little bit more color in to zhuzh it up. So I used more of this lace. I used another sticker out of that book, and that's what we have there. Okay, now I'm so smart. I said I'm not going to open this up and flatten it, but how am I going to do that? Let me ponder that a minute and show you what I've done for the spine. Maybe I'll just stand this book up like so. Okay, this is a pendant. It is heavy. It is metal. It was around somebody's neck at some point. But look at the perfect colors. So I have just, now I would say almost without exception, the way I put my spine dangles together, you can remove different elements. You can put this on a chain and wear it around your neck if these are your colors. This is a pressed flower in, I'm not sure. I don't know where I got it, but I added that as well because it's perfect. I did some beaded, a little beaded element here. And then in this fibrous part, I've got more of this same 3-layer, whatever it is, pearl strand, seam binding, satin ribbon, and all together it looks pretty darn great. Again, if I do say so myself. Okay, now how am I going to do this? Well, maybe I just won't let it lie perfectly flat. Okay, so this is obviously a book page collage inside cover as well. I made this lace pocket. Oh, again, I'm using the box from the scented drawer liner. I've used a yo-yo, a satin rose, one of those Antonio people, and just a little mini collage there. So far, it looks as though all I put in here is my About This journal. I love this because of the colors. Oh, this is washi tape, you know, just reinforcing the fold here in the spine. I cannot believe I'm letting this go because it makes my heart sing to see that. I don't know, the colors, I guess. Here I have used a napkin covered something or other and a vellum sentiment to create a belly band. I've used some of my lady stickers. And this is, oh, I didn't put any, oh my goodness, I gotta load this guy up too. A top loading pocket sewn around the edge. This paper came out of a stationery set that I bet you I've had for 25 years. And of course, I'm using it. This was a collage, or maybe this is my digital. All of these background images are my own carved stamp creations. So I just used these bits of paper here to make it easier to write on. More of the same. Somebody's digital. This is a gigantic envelope. I've added some washi. Oh, I see I have a tear there. I'm going to have to reinforce this with, well, let's do it. Be easy to forget otherwise. Let's just do it. So I'm using, again, washi with a bit of glue at the back. I guess maybe in the long run, for people who like the element of surprise, it's probably a good thing that I forgot to fill all the elements, all the pockets and tucks, because now when I do it, it will, I might need to put some there too. Just a teensy weensy piece. Because now you won't know what I've added. Again, just some glue for extra hold, because we know when washi tape first came on the market, and of course I wasn't paper crafting at the time, the big selling feature was that it was removable. So we should never be surprised that it doesn't hold long term, because that isn't what they intended. So I've done some stamping there. I've got a couple of journaling cards. Thank goodness this is a deep pocket, otherwise it'd be a little hard to get in there. Altered paper clip on some lovely matching paper, dyed paper. Oh, this is, again, an altered paper clip. Easy as peasy. Just put a shank button on it. This is another, I did a video on using these mesh bags because, of course, I've got 3 million. So I've just added some vintage lace as a decorative element and this journaling card with some lace on it. Now this, I wonder, well, we'll see. I was going to say, I have off to the side here someplace. Hiding under my little clever cover. I have this sachet that has a scented, and you can see it's shedding, element. So I don't know which journal this belongs in. So anyway, we'll pin this guy back on. Only to one piece of paper. Thank you very much. I love that button. I've used that Tim Holtz thingamajig sticker. Digital. Now what is going on here? Oh, I loved her with her porcelain skin and her peachy dress. I wanted this here. Oh, Hazel, you're so predictable. At one point, I obviously folded this. But it turns out that because I used her in this journal, I didn't need to fold her. So it looks like I've covered, because of that fold line there, I've added journaling space and this bit of a digital to cover up whatever was on the back side of this page. I guess a person could fold it back, cover her arm. I don't know. Anyway, and here's another fold. Oh, looks like I left her showing because, well, it's her face and not her elbow. This is just a snippet that I've attached there. Here I have another little mini snippet using the flap of that box as well as a wax seal. Boy, haven't thought about wax seals in forever. Here is a pocket. You've seen this before. I love this set of stickers that had these very pastel letters. And of course, I've just, I'm a good speller, so I put together some words in each book that would fit on a pocket. This came from a little gift bag, and I just threaded ribbon through the two holes that would have housed the handle. Little snippet, little collage, little, what do you call those things? Die cut. Here I've zigzagged some lace onto this coffee dye paper, and I've added this little, which way is this guy supposed to be hanging? I guess this side. This must have been an earring, but look at all those cute little discs of goodness. So that is that. We've seen this paper before. That's the flap of the envelope. Now, of course, that could be glued down midway, have an upper tuck and a lower tuck, or something more could be added to it and makes, you get an additional page. I've used this sheer ruffle at the top, and I think it is magnificent. This is an ombre fabric that goes from an orangey to a other color, and you probably can't see that very well, but it's just a perfect match. Okay, what have we got here? This one, what was this? Not sure what this was, if it was part of a box or what, but clearly I put a snippet there to cover something up. Here's some embossed paper. Oh, and this was on a master board. Again, my stamped elements at the back there. So I've just added some space to write if a person wants to. Okay. Oh, maybe I need to top up some glue there. You try to, or at least I try to use the minimum amount of glue I can get away with, because then it saves the oozing and so on. Okay, so that is a lace edging that I glued again to this masterboard using my digital and my own stamped elements. And I just randomly added some paper to be able to journal on. We've seen that before. This would be... Oh, that's the other part. That's the other part of this thing. So I've then glued this paper on, which is so beautiful. Of course, you could thread something through there, fibers or ribbon or whatever you choose. This is a little side tuck, and there's also room to journal there. Isn't this the truth? We all deserve good things. Now this also got covered in that video that I did. This was a huge mesh bag that I put over some beautiful scrapbooking paper. This I fussy cut out of a sympathy card. I love this so much, this lily. I bought several of those cards and I'm gradually using them. And so that becomes a pocket. Now, because this is nice, I'm not going to put these items back in on this side. I'm going to put them on this side. And here it was just, you know, some random paper that a person could use to journal on. If I can get this in, we'll be in business. No, I don't know. I hope it fits this way. Don't like that sticking out. Turn this guy. Worry about that later. This color works in this journal. Side tuck made out of vintage wrapping paper that I love. I have fussy cut this out in other places and projects. Added some crocheted lace. This is another piece of that same bag. And I just created kind of a look of a window there. This also came out of a wallpaper sample book. I have obviously backed this to make journaling space. Here's another one of those embossed envelopes that could, I don't know, maybe I need to put something in, or maybe you need to put something in. Vintage wrapping paper. It made the cut, of course, because of the color. And there is, it's become a pocket. Here's an ombre doily that I love, love, love. That same paper we've seen before. A lace masterboard turned into a beautiful tuck spot. This is tea bag paper, so there's some grit to it. Some obviously some soft pinks that managed not to fade, which is a miracle. This was just some gingham paper that I covered with bias tape. Here is another one of those fuzzy cuts using bias tape that has been ironed flat. These I fussy cut off a wallpaper roll. Not roll, but a wallpaper border. This is a pocket, and obviously I've just sort of tucked it in so that her little charming little face is showing through that opening. This is a vintage Bogart embroidery envelope, 39 cents. Thank you very much. I used it because of the pink orange thing going on there. We've seen these things before, and so they're just tucked in the pocket there. This is one of my digitals. I've just added some real lace here. Another altered paper clip with a charm on it. Here is, we've seen this card before. In this journal, I've used it as a pocket. And feels like I reinforced it. Or did I use, let me just see what's going on here. Oh, okay, so it's actually two pockets. So I've used the entire card, and the back becomes a pocket, and then the inside of the card becomes another pocket. This came off, I don't know where this came from. Beats me. That I believe I have as a digital, because she is gorgeous. Now I can see that this, I should probably glue this down a little better, because it is lifting and getting creased as it goes in and out of the pocket. So hopefully this will now, you know, quite often I don't really like gluing things absolutely flat, because there's more interest and texture and so on if you don't. However, because this is going in and out of a pocket as opposed to being clamped onto the side of a page, it's not great. Now here I'm leaving that because that looks more interesting. Now hopefully that will stay flatter. Here I've threaded some ribbon through that paper. Oh, I do need to add some charms. Again, this was the negative from a die cut that I had done. I stamped the paper. This is another piece of that bag I did a collage on and have just tucked that in the window. These, I think I did a video on this. These were those awfully shiny gold seals that I thrifted somewhere. And this is how I ended up, this is what I ended up with, and I love it. I've been hoarding them, but again, I'm trying to get better. Okay, so I've obviously cut open the bottom of that Vogard envelope, so that is a pocket. Room to journal, more tea bag paper. Here I've run a different fiber through the holes. There's the other side of the envelope. We're in the second, oh geez, I better speed up. We're only in the second signature. And this is obviously a big open pocket as well. Fairly delicate because we know gift wrap isn't that thick. Most of it isn't. And this is just a beautiful collage that I put together. I was obviously, oh yeah, I had to cover the back of that. And I love how that turned out. Okay, we've seen that paper before. This is the back of that big mesh bag, and clearly I have to put something in. Honestly, guys, I'm sorry. I thought I was ready for this. This is napkin on music paper. I love it because of the colors, of course. And on this side, you know, you've got a pocket, you've got a fold out, you've got, you know, you can do whatever you want there. This could be glued here and become just a little skinny little place to put things, or, you know, however you choose to. Finish it off. Vintage soft pink fabric ruffle. That needs something. Yoy. Yoy, yoy, yoy. This is an over the top of the page kind of thing. Now, is that a little... Can't tell. Let me find something. Maybe I was just hiding something, or maybe that's how it came. This is not a tuck spot. I must have been covering something up. Added this, what do you call it? Eyelet, made a little cluster there. Did some decorating. This is from Glasgow, 2016. This is an over the top of the page kind of dangly thing. Person could put a paper clip on there if you feel like it's moving around too much. We've seen that paper before. That's a digital. This is one of my digitals. This is a top loading pocket that I haven't loaded. This is wedding paper, vintage wedding paper. A color coordinated snippet, no, scrap. What do we call these things? Scrap. I don't know what we call those things. Part of the flap of an envelope. Love this. I don't know whose it is. It's a digital. There's the other side of that envelope. A pocket here. This beautiful little cluster on that. This is also pocket. Other side of the digital. Here I have included a fabric flip, and I guess I glued it on, but you can see it's a combination of lace and fabrics and a lovely button. Okay, then we get to this. Now, okay, what's going on here? So this is, oh, this is some money. I don't know where this came from. Digital. Digital. I don't know. Honestly, you know, when so much time passes, I don't know if I must have made this, because that's a Georgia O'Keeffe painting there. I've added this lovely lady because she matches. I know that I had that paper. Anyway, clearly this is a place where you could list some bucket list items. Here's that paper again, music page. This is actually a magnetic bookmark. It was a gift to me from my daughter. Like, there were a few in that package, but clearly I'm sharing something precious with you there. Same doily we've seen before. These, I don't know whose digitals these are, I'm sorry. This is just some bits of that wallpaper border. The colors are great. I just folded them, tucked them in there as journaling spots or to use elsewhere as decoration. Here, I guess I just included a bunch of tickets that have a nice little pink border around them. Napkin on this lovely, what would that be? Is that it? That could be like an index paper from an index page, like out of an atlas perhaps. Just decorated this because it matched. Another one of those textured envelopes. Here is a, okay, what is this? Okay, I've clipped it on to hold it in place. Oh, it's just an over-the-top, very lovely, very heavy, because I've added some dimensional elements here. I must have gone crazy doing that one day. And that is also tea bag paper here. Not sure what that is. I'll have to see if I can remove that. Or you, the new owner, need to cover that up. Paper, place to write stuff. Another bit of that to gift wrap. More lace trim sewn on. This is part of napkin paper. I had this in my French napkin collection. An altered paper clip, a digital. Pretty sure that's Roxy's or Rachel's. Love that, the way those paper clips turned out. This, believe it or not, was it didn't reproduce particularly well here, but this was a contour drawing that I had done of a hibiscus. So it was just, some of it was just it was all just pencils. So there's my signature there. Okay, a snippet, more writing paper, another shank button holding something together here. I can't remember what this stuff was, but it was beautiful. It was translucent, and I used it almost like tissue paper. Made this little pocket here. Use this because it's beautiful. I don't know if that was scrapbook paper, if that came as a card. This is something that I obviously dyed. And when you have something as bulky as this, if you put it coming out the top of your journal, obviously it doesn't create havoc. Here's another bit of that ombre fabric that I turned into ruffle, and I think it works well there. We've seen that, we've seen that, we've seen that. Oh, here is the rest of that ad. So it was Coty, and it was makeup, and it was showing different blush colors. We saw the lady in one of the other flip throughs. There's that same seed packet. Oh, I also used this. I fussy cut this trim just to add for a splash of color there. This is obviously a vintage card of some sort. More of that lace digital. This also was beautiful gift wrap, and I turned it into a pocket. This is So that's a postcard. So that was lovely, just as it was. Added a snippet at the top there. Here, again, too beautiful to cover, in my humble opinion. This is Braille paper, and all I did here, these are, if you know how to read Braille, these were names of candidates in our riding constituency from the last federal election. And of course, they're no good after the fact, so of course I took them home. So I had just touched ink to the bumpy side, and obviously now we have that design there. This is something that I dyed, and a vellum thingamajig. On this side, of course, we have more Braille, because one side was English, one side was French, so both sides were done. Same effect. More of that writing paper. This is, I don't know where I got this, but I love it because it looks almost rustic, and I don't know. I love these little things. Scrapbooking paper. This is a stamp that I cut into an eraser, and I did that. There's a video way back when, during the 100-day challenge, where I was using my own thing. And here I had used one of those ombre ink pads, and that's why the variation in color. And I think it's beautiful. We've seen this before. We've seen that before. Here I have a piece of scrapbooking paper. I have this book page pocket with, you know, elements that match. Here's just a teeny weeny little tag, and this tucked into the back, folded in such a way that you see the most decorative part of the paper. Oh, I was obviously moving furniture, but what was my intention? Was I going to put it there? Was I going to, what was I going to do? Don't know. Just, again, some paper to write on, to further decorate. You know, a person has to be quite careful with these pockets that are just made out of gift wrap, because now I suppose if we're talking about lessons that we can learn, what I could have done when I folded this and before I sewed it was glue down a reinforcing strip inside. Now that would have been a good thing to do. The other thing a person could do is obviously reinforce it from the finished side, but I'll have to figure out what I was going to do with that chair. But again, you know, there are so many things that a person is thinking about at the time that it's almost impossible to remember it all. Everybody got a piece of this vintage gift wrap, and I just attached it to this page, and it almost seems like it came that way. Here's a snippet at the top, more writing paper, more Braille. Oh, it looks like I didn't do anything to this one. More of this same lovely paper with some elements in there. Lace, zigzagged. Oh, it could be a very shallow little tuck spot. If this would only work. But more than likely, it wouldn't be that practical, so a person could just use it, you know, keep it as a decorative element. Another little snippet here, or I guess it could be a tuck spot, the way I've glued it down there. Here is more of those flowers that I said came off a paper towel print. What should we call it? A library card, a tag, a writing board, a belly band. Oh, I forgot to, I didn't sign this book. A journaling card, and maybe this should be the theme for the video. Forgive me for anything that I've missed at this point. I'd better sign this right away. And again, a writing board just to make it easier to use the journal. So I think that in reality, these 2 flip-through videos will be posted perhaps, no, that's not a smart sales strategy. I will list the journals. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm trying something different. I'm thinking before I'm speaking. Okay, let me think this through. I think that there is going to be a delay. Let me just put it that way. It takes a lot of effort to do a listing, particularly on Etsy. And of course, there's also, cost and a commitment. Okay, this is the plan. I'm going to upload both these videos, these flip-through videos. If there is something, one of these journals that you absolutely can't live without, reach out to me through a comment, follow it up, and then I would say, of course, follow up with an email. And then we'll work out the how, when, where, what of, payment and shipment and so on. And if there aren't any immediate takers within the first, few days, then I will go through the steps of listing. And you might have to watch my Instagram to know exactly when and where I have listed them, because the choice, I do have a few choices as to where to put them. And obviously, since it's mid-November, I would like these hopefully to be sold and in somebody's hands, either as a Christmas present or as a present to oneself, before year end. So, yeah, I just have to figure out how best to do that. Anyways, I'm sorry that this probably wasn't as maybe there are a few too many ifs for some of you, for some of your liking, but I'm trying to do what is best for you as well as for me. So anyway, I will stop here. I have a chair for sale. And yeah, just reach out. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you're still here, this has turned into a rather long video, 2 big journals with a lot of stuff to show you. And yeah, I just appreciate it if you've hung in to the end. I will also remind you that if you haven't seen a particular really short video that I've done lately, it's in your best interest to do so, because there are, you could win something, let's just say that. And anyway, okay, thank you. That's it. See you in the next one.